Happy birthday, Gemini! It's Gemini season. I'm Brandy Joy, and I'm going to read your tarot prediction for the month. This reading is for all signs. You see the 4 stacks here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Take a deep breath, allow 1, 2, 3, or 4 to come to you. You can pause this video as you do so. I have instructions on how to pick a card. If you want to check that out, it'll be linked right here and in the description below. Okay, once you pick your card stack, you can just go ahead and jump into the description below where I have your timestamps. You can click on your timestamp to jump forward to your results. So let's see what the month of June has in store for you. Okay, if you picked stack 1, that's the beautiful little citrine stone here that was on it. Let's go ahead and look at your cards. You have the Death card as your card for the month. Now, I do want to mention Death card does not mean a physical death, okay? Death card means major transformation. So this month is a month of major transformation. In fact, we are in eclipse season, and it started out, we had a big Uranus aspect with the supermoon, and now this month is all about eclipse energy, which is about transformation, right? So for you, the Death card means you're going through a major transformation this month, a big change. Let's look a little bit deeper into what that means for you. Okay, so the archetype that you're starting out with this month is, you're the King of Swords. And the King of Swords, this is a very active card. This is an active energy card. This card is decisiveness. It's a card of being very perceptive. It's a card of being in your mind a lot though, okay? So this card is that kind of energy of like being very active in the mind, always thinking about things, always analyzing everything. And so you're very much in your head as we come into this energy this month. You're very much focused in this energy of activity, this energy of an active mind. And that active mind, as you know, can get in the way a bit. It can really affect you in terms of your productivity. It can get in the way of your intuition. It can get in the way of a lot of things. So that's the kind of energy you're bringing in, but let's take a look at the next card. Okay, so the next card, the one that you are coming into this month, as you move forward, as the month goes, you're coming away from that, King of Swords energy, that overactive mind. You're coming into the Princess of Cups. All right, the Princess of Cups, this is an energy of stability in terms of the mind, in terms of the emotions, because it's an earthy card. It's a very earthy card, but it's also a watery card. It's like the opposite of the King of Swords. The King of Swords, that was an energy of fire and air. Now you're coming into the opposite, which is more groundedness and more, you could say, mud, right? Because earth and water makes mud. But this card is about healing. It's about emotions. It's about intuition. It's about creativity. All right, so as you start out the month, it's this King of Swords energy, but as you go on, by the end of the month, you're going to be kind of in an opposite place, and that makes sense for the Death card coming up for you. You're going from one thing to an opposite. So this is an opposite card to the one we just looked at. You're coming into more of this like emotional, creative energy, this energy of big transformation from mental to more of an emotional, intuitive, creative way. All right, so let's take a look at what is blocking you. So the thing that is blocking you is 8 of Swords. And the 8 of Swords is the card of interference. Interference of the mind, right? This is Jupiter and Gemini, which means that this goes right along with that King of Swords energy. This is like expansion of the mind, overthinking, being a little too fickle, being too caught up in the head, changing your mind too much, not sure about things because you're, thinking too much. All right, so this is the interference. It is the mind. It is an energy of imbalance because you can see all the red and all of the swords. That means fire and air is imbalanced within you. You have too much of that thought, too much perception, too much analytical. All of that mind stuff is getting in the way. And I feel like I'm repeating myself because you're getting, a very consistent reading. Okay, so what do you need to do? What activity do you need to focus on this month? Of course, you got the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups, this is a card of relaxation, peacefulness, and joy. Okay, so this card is about really coming into the pleasures of life, and it's a water. This is a very watery card. This energy is a card of you really tapping into what makes you happy and focusing on that this month, focusing on your water element. So when I say happy, I don't mean like, doing something horrible, like eating a bunch of sugar or consuming a bunch of alcohol or weed. I'm talking about coming into your happiness, your joy, and your peace in terms of your spiritual development, in terms of doing what's right for your body, in terms of doing what's right for your soul, your spirit, what's right for your mental body. Okay, so this is, you can see he's sitting on a bench, and whenever somebody's sitting on a bench in a tarot card, that is it's a symbol of stability. It's a symbol of earth. And so again, we have earth and water. So the activity you need to perform is to focus a little bit more on your water element and stabilizing that water element within you, because it's a little bit weak is what I'm getting here from all this fire and air stuff. Your water element is a little bit weak. So how can you step into the water element? That's your big question of the month. What can you do? Can you maybe get around water a little bit more, do some meditation, focus on dream work? All of that stuff is watery stuff. Focusing on creativity, creation. So maybe you do some drawing, do some writing, doing something creative, but definitely meditation is a big part of developing the water element within you. You could also do some invocations of water element. You can do some meditations and everything that are very focused on your water element, and the water element is your second chakra. The second chakra is your water chakra, so maybe you could do some invocations, some focusing on that. You could also invoke Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel is wonderful for healing water and emotional type of stuff. Okay, and it'll bring more creativity into your life as well. If you're into path working, if you're in my school, you know that Yesod would be a really good one for you to focus on, and also Hod. All right, so let's take a look at your next card. Your next card is the energy that you need to focus on throughout the month in terms of an element. Ace of Cups. This is a card, again, of water. So, again, you need to focus on your water element, your second chakra. You need to focus on creativity, creation, energy, and spirituality, anything that has to do with water element. So study water element, do some meditations on water element, invoke Gabriel, work with your second chakra, drink a lot of water, and maybe if you can get around some outside water like a lake, river, or a beach, something like that. And your final card is the Star. This is the growth that you are coming into this month. Now, we talked about the Death card and how you're going through a major transformation, right? Well, all of what I just told you was part of that, but also this one. This one is your ultimate growth for the month. And this card is purification and faith. Purification in terms of your energy body, your etheric body, your 7 chakras, and also your auric energy. So this is purification, and it's also about your faith, but your faith within yourself, your inner truth. Okay, so the Star card you can see is a very beautiful card. It's very watery, but it's also very astral. You know what I mean? Like energy, etheric, astral energy, like that spiritual energy. So this is a highly, highly spiritual card. So this is what you're coming into. It's almost like you're going through an alchemical type of transformation this month, where you're coming, out of so much of the mental, out of so much of chaos, and more into a spiritual, more balanced, more intuitive, more watery type of energy by the end of the month. So have fun with it. Let me know if you have any questions, and maybe I'll see you in my magical mystery school where you can develop those types of things step by step with me. All right, so let's take a look at stack 2. All right, you chose this little green guy with the little pink circles all over it. I don't know, it's cute. I've had it forever. Okay, so your first card of the month. This is the overall card for you in terms of the energy of the month, what is going on with you, and what the energy is about for you. Okay, so you have the Emperor, number 4. The Emperor is a card of reason, a card of judgment, a card of stability of the mind. Okay, so this month is about you and your reasoning, the way that your mind is working. Anything to do with your mental energy, anything to do with you, like your thoughts, your mental body, anything to do with your mind this month. So it's about you developing that aspect of yourself, okay? You can call it air, but it's also tied into some water a bit. If you look at the tree of life, Hod is on the tree. I won't really go into that right now, but this is kind of the area of reason, but it has a water element to it as well, which means the emotions are tied directly into your mind, right? Emotions and mind, they work together. So you have a lot going on with your mental body, you have a lot going on with your mind, a lot going on in terms of your reasoning this month. Okay, so it's like you're developing the mind this month. You are working with the mental energy. You're working with developing your mental body. There's some stuff going on. It makes sense for Gemini, right? This month is all about Gemini energy, which is the mental, the mind. And so let's take a look at your next card. As you come into this month, as you come into this Gemini season, again, you have another mind card. You have the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords this is again an energy of mental, very focused on the mind, very much into, thinking about things, very focused on your mental. So what I mean by that is some people are very grounded. Some people are very watery and emotional and very focused on, just like artists and doing things like that, or performing. Or being very earth driven and focusing on work, but you are very much in your mind right now. This is like your element of the month. This is something that you are working with, you're developing. It's something that is going to transform for you this month. And so what you're coming into is again the Page of Swords. That makes sense because you are developing your mental body this month. Again, you are working on your reasoning, your judgment, the way that you think about things, the way you perceive things. It's a development of your mind this month. All right, let's look at the next card. Again, you have another mind card. So this is the thing that is blocking you, and you have the Four of Swords, and this is Jupiter in Libra. Okay, so this is about you balancing the way that you work with other people, communicate, express yourself, the way you perceive your relationships and other people. So this is almost like you're blocked in the area of mind, and it's the area you need to develop, and it's about you balancing your mental energy and the way that you are communicating with other people, the way that you are dealing and expressing yourself with other people, and balancing that. This is kind of in the way for you, the mind, again, this mental energy is getting in your way. It's blocking you. So what can you do? Well, the first thing you can do is we have the Seven of Cups. Again, we have mind, mental energy, along with, which is an air element, along with the water element here. There's a mixture. So you need to tap more into the watery element, You need to tap more into relationships and really working with relationships. If you're in my membership and you missed my Gemini path working meditation the other day, it is up in the, you can jump into the replay area and you can watch that and you can do that ritual and meditation with us. It would really help you if you're stack 2, because you know this energy, it's like very Gemini, very mental, and it's like you need to work a little bit more with the water element in terms of meditation, in terms of maybe path working, maybe dream work. Things that are water would help you to develop that mental stuff that you have going on. So using more of your water element, so you could do some creative work, you could draw, you could paint, you could listen to music, maybe go swimming. All of those watery types of things will help you to purify what you have going on in the mental. You're very, very focused in the mental right now. Now, the energy that you need to really focus on beyond all of that this month, like the one element that you need to hone in on would be the Ace of Disc. That would be the energy of groundedness, the energy of stabilization, the energy of the earth element, the physical. So maybe when you're doing some meditation, work on grounding meditations. Work on banishing a little bit with the air element and invoking a little bit more earth, a little bit more water. Okay, grounding, and also you can work with Uriel, you can work with Sandalphon, and you can also work with, of course, Gabriel, which is water. All right, all of those archangels are really wonderful for this kind of thing. Also, I want to mention Raphael, because Raphael is the healer of God. And Raphael is also over Hod, which is the mental and watery stuff as well. So that might be another archangel you might want to work with. Anyways, Ace of Disc is all about grounding. All right, so this month you need to focus on grounding and maybe getting into the earth element a little bit more, maybe going outside, exercising outside, getting outside, doing things that are a little bit more earth driven. Your final card, this is the card of growth. Now, going back to the first card that you got, you had, right, the Emperor of Reason this month, and it's all about your mental body and developing the mind. The final card you got was the card of Gemini. So this is your development for the month. This is the energy, which is the Lover's card. The Lover's card, this is a card of discernment, developing your mind in terms of making really good decisions, being able to differentiate what is good for you and what is bad for you, coming more into a developed mind, and working more with other people in a way that is balanced. This makes total sense for you, right? As I've been talking about all of this stuff, this is what you're coming to. Now, if you're into path working, again, you know, it's funny because I was just telling you to check out the replay in the membership from my Gemini path working, and this is what we did. We did Gemini path working with the Lover's card. The Lover's card helps you develop that aspect of yourself that is Gemini, that aspect of yourself that is learning discernment within yourself, that is going beyond the veil of illusion, developing understanding and knowledge and truth from within you that takes you into your awakening. All right, so this is like I'm speaking to those of you that really need some path working, really need to develop that Gemini path. So interesting, it is the month of Gemini, and here you are developing Gemini and the Emperor of Reason and the Lovers of Discernment. Awesome. So have fun with that. Let me know if you have any questions, and let's take a look at stack 3. Stack 3. Okay, you had the amethyst, the little purple stone here. Really pretty. Okay, let's take a look at your cards. So your first card of the month, this is the overarching card, energy of the month that you are going through, working on, and this is the card of Justice. This is the card of balance. It's very Libran, right? It's all about balance. And so this month is a focus of energy towards you balancing yourself. This energy, you can see she has her eyes open to truth, and she also has the balanced scales, and she has the sword of truth in her other hand. So this energy is all about development of your balance, okay, this month. So you're a bit imbalanced then. If you got this card as like the thing that is overarching you for the month, the theme, then that would mean that you are operating at a bit of an imbalance right now. So let's take a look at that imbalance. Okay. So as you're coming in, you have the Knight of Cups. All right. So this means this is where your imbalance is. Your imbalance is in the water element. Your imbalance is in maybe you're feeling, very emotional. Maybe it's about a lover. There's something going on emotional for you. This could be about past lovers. It could be about a current lover. It could be just about your connection with other people. There's something going on there with the water element, the emotional stuff, the feelings, in terms of another person or some other people that have affected you, maybe some trauma. So there's something going on with an imbalance with probably second chakra, which is the water chakra, which is the connection to other people's chakra, right? Usually intimate people that are very close to you have affected you in that second chakra. Usually has a lot to do with trust issues, betrayals, traumas, dishonesty, disconnect, things like that. That was what is blocking you, right? So let's take a look, and there's a lot more to this. I'm just kind of stepping into it for you here. Okay, so the thing that you are coming into as an archetype later in this month, as you're developing, you're getting away from that cups, right? And you're moving into, I should say the imbalance of the water, imbalance of the cups. You're moving into the Prince of Swords. Okay, so Prince of Swords, this is a card of mind. So, makes sense. It's like everybody's Gemini today. We have a lot of Gemini stuff going on, a lot of air quality work going on this month. This is eclipse season. We have Uranus energy. We have all kinds of stuff going on with, Mercury retrograde. And so it makes sense that you're developing the air quality. You're developing the energy of the swords, the mind, sharpening the mind. The Prince of Swords is about sharpening the mind. It's about working with the mental element this month. You working with the quality of the swords. Okay, so that's what you're coming into, is developing that aspect of yourself and stabilizing it, because this is a prince. And this is about you moving forward with that mental energy and developing it. Okay, these are active cards. The Prince cards are the active cards. What do you need to do, right? You need to move forward with the mental energy. You need to move forward with that. So let's look a little bit closer at what that means for you. All right, so where you are stuck energetically also is the Eight of Wands. This is Mercury, hello, swords and air element, Gemini, ruled by Mercury, Mercury in Sagittarius. Okay, so Eight of Wands. Well, Eight of Wands is swiftness, right? It's like speed. So this is what's blocking you. You have a lot of air and fire stuff going on, and it's like you're always so busy that maybe you're not really working with that controlling the mind enough, right? It's almost like it's just kind of all over the place. I mean, look at this card. You have these fiery energies just kind of just going everywhere, expanding, because Sagittarius is a very expansive energy, and Mercury is a thought energy. It's almost like mental chaos in a way is what I'm getting here. It's like you're just moving fast, you're busy, you're just all over the place, right? And so that is a big part of your issue that you have going on. It is blocking the development of that second chakra healing. Next, the thing that you need to focus on, one of the things, is the Six of Swords. So this would be a good card for you to meditate on this month. And this card is giving you some action to take. And this is showing you moving out of the rough waters. And so the rough waters, again, are second chakra. This, again, is a mental card. It's a card of swords and a card of water. This is a card of developing yourself by moving away from things and learning how to create that space between your emotional body and your mind and who you really are as a soul. And the way we do that, have you ever heard of Dhyana? Dhyana, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it really that right, but Dhyana is a it's how when we get into meditation practice, it's that part of meditation where we learn how to separate. We learn how to create that gap, that space between our mind, our emotions, and our soul. And that space, it gives us healing. It gives us the ability to step away from the issues. And so that's what I'm getting for you is this Six of Swords is about you moving away from the rough waters, learning to develop the mental body and control the mental body, control the mind, which you can do through meditative practices. I do have a meditation video coming out next week on, how to meditate and why meditate and all of that stuff. So I'll explain a lot more of that next week. Look for that. It would probably help you tremendously. Now, the element that you also need to focus on this month, the element that will help you this month. Now, funny enough, you remember we just looked at this whole card of the Eight of Wands, which was fire, which was blocking you, right? Now, the funny thing is, the element you need to focus on for the month is the wands, is the fire element, okay? So this is about developing that part of yourself in terms of, connection with spirit, inspiration from the divine. Okay, so when you develop the fire element, you are developing a part of yourself that is connecting with unity consciousness. And so if that fire element is blocking you, it means it's imbalanced. So you remember you got the card of balance. So you have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of chaos with a lot of these elements. And one of the things you need to focus on is developing your fire element in a very balanced, grounded way. You can invoke Michael, Archangel Michael. You can also work with the solar chakra. The solar chakra is your fire chakra. It is the one right in the center. It has to do with your willpower, your strength, your inner strength, your divine will. And it's also the part of us, it's the center that balances. Okay, so it helps us to balance our power, our strength, and our connection with other people in a healthy way. Because a lot of times when we have cords of attachment with other people, remember I always say it has to do usually with the solar plexus. Our power center gets zapped by other people. So you have an imbalance going on. And this imbalance, it has a lot to do with your solar chakra. Also, as I was saying, your second chakra, you have a lot of stuff going on. Okay, so what you're coming into this month, what you need to, where you're going to grow the most if you work on this balance. You really need to be doing some work with Malkuth, with your root, chakra, and developing all of your four elements into a nice balanced sovereign type, what we call the stone of sovereignty, right? Which is a balanced four elements. That's what you need. Now, the area you're going to grow the most this month, if you do some developmental work, if you do some meditation work, as you grow this month, you are going to come into what we call the Hierophant. The Hierophant, this is really a beautiful card. It's it's a card of intuition. It's a card of connection with divine. Funny enough, we were just looking at the Ace of Wands, which has everything to do with your connection with divinity. And now here you are with the Hierophant, which is your inner self, your higher self, connecting with the Holy Trinity and unity consciousness. And this card is a wonderful card for like stabilizing yourself, balancing yourself, and developing like a protective energy. You see this pentacle, right? Work with the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram until you do that twice a day, in the morning and then at night, for at least a few weeks, maybe a month or two. If you've already been doing it, go ahead and move on to lesser invoking ritual of the pentagram of earth, and that would help you a lot. Okay, so this card though is all about your intuition. It's all about that's what you're developing. You're going to become more intuitive. You won't be so blocked, and you'll be more balanced, and you'll be able to get answers from your higher self as you take my advice and start doing some of this work that you need to do in terms of balance. So balance, balance, balance. That's all I can say for you if you chose stack 3. Okay, let's move on to stack 4. Okay, stack 4. You got this little wonderful stone, this gemstone that is very earthy actually. It's very like heavy, dense feeling. It has a bit of a rooty type of nature to it, like root chakra, you know, very deep and heavy and low frequency, you know what I mean? Like kind of grounding type of stone. Anyways, let's look at your cards. So your first card is Temperance. Okay. So this month, the theme of the month for you is Temperance. This is a card of alchemy. It's a card of transformation of your spiritual energy. This is about like you being patient with yourself and developing yourself. It's a card of transformation, a card of change, but on the spiritual plane. It's really not about you physically changing, it's about you spiritually changing this month. You going through some type of alchemical change. So that's like the theme of the month for you. Let's take a look at the energy you're bringing in. So the energy you're bringing in, King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, this is such a card of wealth, a card of success, a card of, making money, career oriented, very focused on either like resources and money or, taking care of things in the physical. So this is that energy of earthiness. And so it's like you're bringing that in with you as you come into this month. Maybe you're focused on work a lot. Maybe you're focused on success or career. Something is definitely, something about you is very focused on that earth element, on success, on money, on stabilization. That is like where your focus is. Now, the archetype that you're working on this month is the Queen of Cups. Aw. So this kind of makes sense for that Temperance card, right? This month, you are actually developing the water of water part of yourself. This is that, the Queen of Cups is that intuitive, sensitive part of your nature. So as you're coming in with this, like maybe very focused on getting things done, maybe very work oriented or success oriented or money oriented, something's going on there. That's your focus. But by the end of the month, you're going to be much more sensitive. You're going to be developing that archetype of yourself that is intuitive, that is more spiritually advanced. Okay, so let's look at your next card. Where are you stuck? You are stuck in the Three of Disc or Three of Pentacles. This card is a card of Capricorn, Mars energy. All work, 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 and no play. Watch out. So this is where you're stuck. You are stuck in an energy of seriousness. This is a very serious card. It's like, let's work, let's get some things done. And so this makes sense for your King of Pentacles energy as you're coming in. You're coming in with this earthy type of energy. And this is where you're kind of stuck right now. This is the thing that's keeping you from that Queen of Cups, keeping you from the alchemical thing. It's the energy you're coming in with, but let's see where you're going. What's the action that you need to perform? The action is actually another pentacle. This is a card of discipline. This is a card of practice. And so whenever I see this card, I'm like, okay, it's time for you to get disciplined about something. And so the thing you need to get disciplined about is the Ace of Wands, spirituality. So you need to discipline, you need to practice in terms of your spiritual work. Now, you're coming in grounded, right? You're coming in with a lot of disc energy, a lot of earth energy. And that's good because you can actually use that kind of energy as a good way to create a set schedule. It's very Capricorn, it's very Taurian. So you can say, okay, I'm going to do my spiritual work every morning at this time and every evening at this time, and I'm going to do it for this amount of time. So you would be really good at that. But that's where you need to focus, is on developing that discipline in your spiritual work, rather than just focusing on, making money, working and stuff. That's kind of blocking you from developing that sensitivity, that Queen of Cups, which is intuition, which is your psychic stuff, your awakening of spirit. So that's where you need to focus. Now, let's see where you are growing the most this month. Okay, growth is the Hanged Man. This is the card of the light worker. This is a very watery card, just like Queen of Cups, right? You can see the little water element down here. You probably can't see it from there, but if you have the Thoth deck, take a look at this one. You'll see how watery it is. It's so beautiful. In fact, you can see that the Hangman it looks kind of like that upside down triangle of water. So this is like service to others, self-sacrifice. It's about looking at things a new way, letting go of some things. So maybe it's time for you to start really focusing more on your spiritual work and letting go of so much chaos in your life and so much work in your life and so much focus on the earth element, and really use that energy to stabilize your spiritual work. So you can see this little serpent down here ready to come out. Ready for the Kundalini awakening, ready for the sensitivity to open up. So this card is a great card for you to really start balancing yourself in terms of developing your watery nature, developing your sensitivity, your intuition, and of course developing your alchemical transformation that you're going through. Okay, so if you haven't yet taken a look at the replay, if you're in my membership, take a look. If you're not, it's only $3.99 right now on special for the first month. $3.99. Yeah, not $3.99. $3.99 to jump in with us. You can watch the replay on the Gemini Path Working for the month. That is now posted for everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I will see you with the meditation video on YouTube next week. So see you then.